Balto. I have rather conflicting feelings for this movie series. On the one hand, it's been part of my childhood. On the other, I loathe the effect it has had on wolfable culture. The first film was fine. Its strength is mostly its animation, the best out of the three Amblimation movies, which not only competes with Disney's talent at the time, but in some ways surpasses it with its sheer fluidity and vibrant color palette. It's a shame it bombed at the box office, competing with Pocahontas and Toy Story. Its bloody sacrifice at the box office altered cost Amblimation its studio, and with it a myriad of projects that might never see the light of day, such as an animated adaptation of Cats. Better than that, Cats. Puh. In fact, this gets in flat out alternate history material, as many of Amblimation's animators went off to work to DreamWorks. So there's a timeline when Balto is successful and maybe 2D animation wasn't killed off in the West. The possibilities. But alas, let us talk about Balto 2, Wolf Quest. Na 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 na, guitar solo, fuck yeah! For you see, Balto was murdered at the cinema, but it found mild success in VHS. It even got the Dingo Pictures ripoff, so it must have done something right. Anyway, this led to two direct-to-video sequels, Wolf Quest and Wings of Change. Before we begin talking about this movie in earnest, I should point out to an archived interview with Phil Weinstein on the now defunct animationsource.org, which has quite information on both sequels. Among many details, there was apparently a disconnect between American writers and concept artists and overseas animators. This explains a few odd quirks this movie has, like a complete palette revamp on Balto. In general, the animation is a downgrade from the original, which is unavoidable seeing as it likely got a lower budget. I tried researching the budgets for all three Balto movies, but all I got was the box office numbers, and this miscommunication can't have made things any better. Still, for what it's worth, the movie looks decent, and later on it has some red and yellow lighting reminiscent of the first movie. To me, the biggest deviation are the character models themselves. In the original Balto, we have generally round character designs that lend themselves to fluid animation. Here, the new characters all look blocky, and the old ones don't vibe well with the new flow. Just look at poor Boris here. Anyways, the movie begins with Balto running across the ice while haunted by a raven and some spooky wolves. There's some native symbols. Put a pin on that. I dreamt you were voiced by Bob Hoskins rather than Charles Fleischer. Wait, Kevin Bacon didn't reprise for this role and I'm now Maurice LaMarche? Balto still lives in the boat and is treated like an outsider just like the first movie. I guess the townsfolk didn't learn their lesson, but then again it's better than what happened to the actual Balto, so... Anyways, they run into a totem pole, where Boris points out there's a wolf and a raven. Just like in Balto's dream. I guess I should lay it out up front. This movie uses Native American spirituality, or rather, what pop culture thinks it's Native American spirituality, the totems and spirit guides and crystals and yada yada, to pepper in fantasy elements. The original Balto was mostly down to earth except for that wolf scene, which by the way is completely retconned for this movie according to the interview. I guess it was to make an Alaskan version of The Lion King, which also deals with South African spirituality in a similar way. I'm not going to speak over other Native Americans in regards to whether this is appropriate or not, but suffice to say it really made wolf abuse insufferable back in the day. Anyways, puppies! Fuck you, real Balto. Our Balto has his nuts intact, but all this fun has to come to a really fucked up end. You know, as a kid I always thought this was really messed up. You have these fully sentient animals giving away their children like it's nothing to them. I get animals are chattel property, but these are talking animals signing away their freedom. Ah, the sheer lengths of indoctrination. Yeah, they'll just starve him if he displays homosexuality. Also, I'm pretty sure this kid is the first native person seen in the trilogy, using the culture but not the people. Stay class universal. Anyways, everyone gets adopted except for Lou, because the townsfolk really didn't learn their lesson and think she's a wolf, even though she's only different from her siblings due to her color. Fucking racists. Time goes by, and Lou, now mostly grown up, yet still supervised by these three stooges. After losing them, she sees a human hunter loading his gun. Funnily enough, one of this movie's writers, Dev Ross, was awarded the Humanitas Prize for Lou, deemed a feminist icon. Back in the day, I remember this character being polarized as all hell, with some fans thinking she's a Mary Sue and even claiming she had a giraffe neck. Not beating one of those allegations for sure. The point of this? Oh, yes, she's a complete idiot and her father saves her. Feminist icon, my ass. She and Balto later confront her wolf blood lineage, and she's not too happy, so she runs away. He has an odd dream about totems, and you can learn about each sign in our shitty New Age Zodiac Emporium. Balto later goes to Jenna for comfort.
This is a journey for father and daughter. You must have faith in them.
Oh, hell no, she's your daughter. You go help find her too. Hell, in the last movie you were a freaking badass with a bear. So they're definitely going to need your help. Then again, you got rid of your other children with a smile on your face. Mother of the Year, everyone. I also wonder if this was Universal's decision, considering the bizarre decisions laid out in the interview. One girl boss, just one. As a result, this movie doesn't really pass a Bechdel test, since Alu and Jenna never really have a conversation, but I suppose those are the bare minimum standards for feminism at the time. Anyways, Balto goes after his daughter alone when he finds a fox trapped in a log, voiced by the late Mary Kay Bergman. Are you trying to seduce me right now, when you're just above rapids, a shitty trap? Well, you can't blame a woman for trying. Anyways, Balto frees her and she touches his wee-wee before tossing him into the water. Sexual assault, nearly drowning, it's the same thing. Oh, and we will put a pin on this. Alu enters in a spooky cave filled with New Ager crystals, and there she meets Muru, voiced by Peter McNichol. Actually, most Alaskan natives have female suns and male moons. Get it right, you culturally appropriating hippie rat. Fun fact, according to the interview, Universal made all of their direct video sequels have musical numbers in order to ape Disney. So I can't help but think that this scene, which has two musical numbers separated by just a few minutes, is some sort of protest against this idiotic measure. For that, I applaud the staff. Anyway, that second song starts and the Pacific Northwest style cave paintings haunt her. Voice that sings inside you. Okay, I don't know who voiced that voice, but he definitely made my day. Godspeed to you, you musical number interrupting weirdo. The Lou leaves the cave and finds the bear ready to punt her off a cliff until Daddy shows up. Again. I know being saved by a male character doesn't eliminate your feminism cred. This is getting kinda repetitive. Then, I shit you not, she gets psychic powers and commune with a bear. Look, I don't believe in Mary Sue as something that means anything, but she's not beating the allegations.
And we'll be killed if we don't.
Okay, again. The two bicker for a bit until they arrive at the coast. Here we're introduced to Discount Nikki, Kaltag and Star. Nook, Yak and Sumac. I know the last one is the name of an Indian herb, so I'm not sure if they're actual Native American names, but who cares? It's time for the villain of the piece, Niju, voiced by none other than Mark Hamill himself. At first, Nigel resembles Steel, and he kind of acts as his opposite, being the wolf that disdains dogs. However, he is a surprisingly complex villain. You see, the wolf tribe wants to cross the Bering Strait in order to follow the caribou, which have taken to the sea for some reason. Niju sees this as idiotic and would rather remain in his home, stealing from other wolf clans if need be. This doesn't excuse his actions, but it shows a surprising level of nuance in this direct to video sequel. An old fart named Nava, played by the late David Carradine, he summoned Balto and Alu through his spooky shaman powers. How spooky? Yeah, he'd be right at home in the thing. He decides Alu should lead in his stead, and for once the villain and hero agree. They sing the final song number to fulfill Universal's quota. Oh, how kind of you to look at the window like that and not help your freaking daughter! Anyways, the sea ice aligns and it's time for a big decision. Niju fights Alu and Balto, and Alu says their goodbyes. And Alu is off to Russia, I guess. As for the mysterious raven that has been haunting Balto this whole time, it turns out to be his mother, who is implied to be all the other spirit animals in as well, including that fucking hippie Nuru and the molesting fox. Okay, so ghosts are definitely canon to the Balto verse. Not just apparitions at the lowest point, actual semi-divine entities since this draws from Pacific Northwest mythology. And they can interact with mortals like Anayu has done across the movie. So, why the hell wasn't she in the first movie? You can argue that she was, but put a pin on that. But as shown in this movie, she can interact however she wants, giving hope to a despairing Balto. Sure, but not killing Steel was endangering thousands of lives. And apparently she'd rather molest her own son as a fox than actually help him. And I was just like Jenna, a bitch in both senses of the word. I'm failing to see the feminism given how motherhood is apparently the devil. Also, Anayo is a retcon from the first movie. According to the interview, it was intended for Balto's father to be the wolf, not the mother. This is why this joke from the first movie
I've got a message for your mother.
works, since it's implying Balto's mother fucks wolves. Just a big mess all around. So, the final verdict. I think the movie is fine, but it has some severe problems, namely the agency of the spirits. They clearly can interact with mortals but choose not to, as to pad away the plot. The main villain was enjoyable, and Jenna's excuse not to come along is hilarious, and Anaya's horribleness is just a delight. I'd rate it a 7 out of 10. Part of it is pitying the animators worked blind in this. There's some ironic and sincere enjoyment to be had. Join us next time as we explore Balto 3 Wings of Change.